Mikaela Shiffrin comes back for 49th World Cup win. Make it 49 World Cup wins for, not that she's keeping track. She goes for number 50 on Saturday. The 23-year-old won her fourth straight World Cup start, capturing a giant slalom in snowy Courchevel, France, on Friday. Shiffrin made up a .08 deficit from the first run to prevail by .14 over 2010 Olympic Gs champion of Germany. The second run start was moved down due to the weather. Normally, I'm having trouble with this kind of conditions when it's inconsistent or a little bit soft snow, and definitely I have trouble when it's bad visibility, said the normally reserved Coloradoan, who screamed a yes and woo when she skied into the lead by .33 with two skiers still to go, including first-run leader Ravensburg. It's really exciting today because those were the two things we were all battling in the second run. My skis felt just perfect. Shiffrin is the youngest skier to reach 49 World Cup wins and will be the youngest to 50 by winning any of the upcoming technical races ahead of the World Championships in February. We were talking last night. I didn't know how many wins I had, said Shiffrin, whose first came December 20, 2012 at age 17. I mean, yeah, I know, but I'm trying to kind of ignore it. It's just a number. If you asked me 5 years ago, I would never think that I could be in this position. She has won 6 of her 10 starts this season and in every discipline save downhill and super combined. The latter, thought to be phasing out of the Alpine program, will only be contested once this season on February 24. Shiffrin skipped a downhill and super G on Tuesday and Wednesday, a decision made before she felt back soreness after winning her last event, a parallel slalom, on December 9. One of Shiffrin's goals is to become the 4th woman to win a race in every discipline in one season, joining, and the next priority is Saturday's slalom in Courchevel. Shiffrin is undefeated in her trademark event since finishing a shocking 4th at the Pyeongchang Olympics, where she did win the Gs. The event streams live on an Olympic Channel, home of Team USA. Shiffrin is one shy of Austrian's record 35 World Cup slalom victories. Olympic snowboarding gold medalist suffered a concussion and broken nose in a crash at his comeback halfpipe event in China on Friday, according to the Swiss Federation. Podlachikov, the 2014 Olympic champion, fell on a backside 900 when his board landed mostly on the lip of the 22-foot pipe, according to NBC Sports. His head smacked against the wall on the way down, snapping his goggle lens off. Medics tended to Podlachikov for 5 minutes before he was taken out from the bottom of the halfpipe on a sled. The 30-year-old rider known as iPod missed the Pyeongchang Olympics after suffering a traumatic brain injury and cerebral hemorrhages in a January 28 crash at the Winter X Games. This week's World Cup in Secret Garden, China, marked his first contest in 11 months. Podlachikov won the Sochi Olympic halfpipe title by throwing his signature YOLO flip, a cab double cork 1440, on a halfpipe that received criticism from other riders for its condition. Rival was 4th in Sochi, then earned his 3rd gold in Pyeongchang in Podlachikov's absence. White is taking an entire season off from snowboard contests for the first time in his near 2-decade career. Rough season hit another stumbling block Friday. She placed 14th in the short program at the Russian Championships. The Olympic silver medalist and 2-time world champion botched her opening combination and then fell on a double axel. She scored 62.24 points, 18.38 behind Olympic champion in the deepest national competition in the world. The 2nd, 3rd and 5th place finishers in the short are all 14 and 15-year-olds that aren't eligible for senior international events this season. This is key, as Medvedev is vying for one of 3 Russian spots at January's European Championships and March's World Championships. Zagitova and 2015 world champion, who is out with pneumonia, would seem obvious candidates for 2 spots at Euros. Medvedev's primary competition for a spot are, who was 4th in the short, and, who was 6th. Samajarova had the best fall Grand Prix season of the trio, placing 5th at the Grand Prix final in her first senior international campaign. Russia has in the past named its World Championships team after the European Championships, making the latter another selection event. Medvedeva went undefeated for 2 years from 2015 to 2017 but hasn't won in more than a year, placing 2nd, 3rd or 4th at her last 5 events since suffering a broken bone in her foot in fall 2017. She has fallen in all 4 of her competitions this season. Training partner Zagitova edged Medvedeva for gold in Pyeongchang by 1.31 points, after which Medvedeva moved from Moscow to Toronto to train under Orser, who has stressed patience as Medvedeva processes technique changes for the second act of her career, encouraged Medvedev after Friday's skate. They conversed in the kiss and cry as fans would not stop applauding her during the wait for her scores. "Stand up and wave," Orser urged her. She obliged, smiling. The scores came up. She nodded and repeated her placement, 14th.